Call the meeting to order. Agenda. Anybody have any additions, omissions?
I'd like to put on an executive session for personnel.
Personnel, okay. Anybody else have anything? Can I get a motion to approve?
Dave, did you want to add that other warrant onto it?
Oh, okay, yes. We have another warrant. The original warrant is for $87,454.60. And we're adding another warrant that came in today for $59,433.01. Add that. You want to
Make a motion, amend my motion to include that.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Select board minutes, August 16th. Anybody have anything on those?
Just 1 second. On under solar sighting, under old business, the comment where the Rutland Planning Commission was willing to work with the town to implement this in the town plan. It says, I stated the planning commission reviewed this topic at the town plan drafting. I think what I said is that the town planning commission went over the solar guidance. That's what I stated there. They went over the solar guidance that was put out by the state and the Rutland committee. So I just want to make sure that was just, there's a little more to that than just the topic. So I'd like to amend that to say, they reviewed the solar siting, or the energy plan language from the state and the RUC.
RRPC.
RRPC.
Okay.
Okay?
You got that, Dave?
Yep.
That's it.
Anybody have anything else? Town manager's report.
Okay. We completed the chip sealing on Depot Hill Roads. We did the full length of it. The application will prolong the life of the road by sealing the surface from water infiltration. Highway Department's been working on grants and aid funded project for ditching and drainage on the section of Fire Hill Road. We now have online registration for rec programs. It's through a website called MyRec. This will allow residents to register from home 24/7 for all of our recreation events. This has been talked about, I guess, for a while, and it's certainly going to free some time up with Liz. It helps her create rosters, and I think it's going to work out well for us. Otter Creek Engineering has completed 75% of the inspections to residential water lines for lead, the lead survey we're doing. We've sent another letter out to the remaining properties to schedule inspections, and they're also conducting the sewer line service inspection on Plains Road, and we have less than 10 properties on that to inspect. We've received the town credit cards. They've been distributed to most of the department heads, a couple I still got to get to, along with the credit card policy that they have been reading and initialing. Water shut-off notices were sent out last week. We're also preparing next steps in the tax sale process. And attached here, there's a thing from FEMA that FEMA is looking for multifamily properties to house families that have been displaced for flooding in the summer. Interested property owners should email FEMA at the FEMA website, or it's FEMA-DR4720-housing@fema.dhs.gov. They just wanted to get the word spread out on that. Rec news. One thing is there was a nice write-up in the Rutland Herald that I put in your guys' packets for Liz coming on board. I think she's going to try to attend one of the meetings here soon. So Pittsford Day was sort of a success. We've already had a meeting to discuss what can be done next year. We still have plenty of Sunshine Village shirts available if anyone wants to buy one. Soccer season begins this week. Cleat swap on the 9th is going to be at the rec area pavilion between 8 and 10. Senior lunches will be held at the Pittsford Congregational Church at 9 on the 21st at noon. And the 13th annual disc golf tournament is on October 14th. Shotgun start at 10 a.m. And the 7th annual Sarah Story Chili Cook-Off Cornhole Tournament and Beer Garden on October 14th begins at 11 a.m. And Liz says lots of new and exciting things to follow. Stay tuned. Just a couple things that have happened since I did my report. I did have a meeting in Rutland this morning to start sort of a kickoff for the Tri-Town Trail scoping study that been discussed and the board approved to move forward with that. So we met with town manager in West Rutland and new town manager in Proctor and Stephanie from RRPC. So we're gonna go through a engineer selection process, probably use at the ready through VTrans because it saves a ton of time and resources on picking they have pre-qualified engineering firms that do this kind of stuff. So there are ones that we've used in the past, like Dubois and King's on it and a bunch of others. So that's where we're at with that. And then next Tuesday I do have to go to Barry for a traffic hearing for when we propose to stretch the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. We got a letter saying that the state didn't want to do it, so now we have to go to hearing. So Butch and I have been preparing for that, and Ethan at the RPC has been giving me some information. I'm going to try to put our case together tomorrow and present that. So that's where we're at with that. And that's all I have this evening.
You want to tell them about Rich Bowman?
Oh, right, yeah, Rich, well, you can if you want.
Well, you said the other day you were going to tell them.
Right. So Rich, well, I don't, where's he at right now? He's going to academy. Rich Bowman,
The 11th,
our health officer is heading to police academy for
the 2-week part-time training.
yeah. So that's exciting. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions for Dave?
Oh,
I do.
did you see that? Actually, VTrans came. They were doing roadside mowing, and they cut down the weeds on the corner across from Arch
Did they?
Street. Yep, those were
So
done
they've
today.
cut all those right flat.
They're about this tall now.
That should be turned into grass.
Yep.
I'm gonna make a motion that we have that turned into grass. It's by the old town office. That lady's passed.
Oh, that mess?
Yeah, that's a safety hazard, a big safety hazard.
Yeah.
It's been terrible. I think Dave got it taken care of the other day.
We got-
I had several complaints on it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It was growing out in the
Yeah,
road
growing
too.
out in the
so-
road.
Well, it was growing, yeah, it was
We
growing
mowed
across the
sidewalks,
sidewalk.
and that should be turned into grass.
Yeah.
They're
So I'm
right
gonna
in,
make a motion that gets turned into grass, whether we have to have our own highway crew do it.
So I do have an email. I've been have an email conversation with Brian Sanderson about this today.
You know, what's he saying?
Well, it's, they're gonna have to come look at it, but I agree that there's no reason why it can't be mowed down for safety issues.
If we make a motion, it becomes public record, then I think that's what needs to happen.
Where's this on Arch Street?
Right, by the old town office, on Main Street, right on Route 7, right on the corner.
Right across from the library.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Mess of weeds.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been terrible all summer.
Isn't that in the highway right away?
Yep.
Well, yeah, but we maintain the sidewalks and mow the grass, so it should be
Oh.
part of I think it's part of our duty to do it.
There's nobody in that house?
I don't know. Nobody lives there anymore?
Yeah.
'Cause there was
I think
someone
he
out
lived
there when
I
we
think
did the
lady
sidewalk.
That lived there, she may have passed, I know her son passed.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
Didn't she pass too?
She did.
She was the one who took care
I
of
don't
the
know if
garden.
the husband's there, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know who's there. But it certainly is, I mean, it's right there at the crosswalk too,
Yeah.
where you can't see
Yeah.
people. So, that's my motion, if somebody wants to second it, it's on record.
Sure, I'll second it, yeah.
Okay, anybody have any discussion? Okay, so we have a motion to,
Turn that into more
turn,
grass.
mow that grass so it's not encroaching on the road and the sidewalk. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Guess not, or everybody say aye, so, all right.
Should have been done long ago.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because I've had people complain to me
I
that
had-
the side, they were having trouble getting down the sidewalk because of
Oh,
this
yeah,
stuff,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Okay.
we mowed quite a bit of it out when we repaved, so.
All right, select board member comments. Anybody have anything?
Well, I might mention, as long as we're talking about visual stuff, going down Route 3 where the Cornhill Road goes up, Route 3 goes around, that brush ought to be cut back.
That's another
The
spot.
visibility could be helped a lot, cause cars coming north, and you're going up Cornhill Road, you can't see them. I mean, that's the states. I don't know how wide their right-of-way is, but that ought to be pruned right back at least to the right-of-way anyway.
I would think so.
So they were in the area today. I think everyone went over the mountain for flood stuff, so when I talk to Brian, I can mention that too, that we have concerns on pretty much every intersection actually.
Yeah, all
That's
our
on the state
intersections
highway is
are
pretty bad
terrible.
right now.
Yep.
That's a good one. I did that yesterday, Joe. I noticed it.
I certainly talked to Brian about that.
I have just one comment.
Yep.
Do you have that equipment list, the capital assets for us yet?
Oh, I do have the list. I can, you want me to get it right now?
No,
Okay.
but I'd like it at
Yeah,
some
we
point
do
here.
have a
Yeah.
list for that, yep.
We have a list of all our equipment?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
as long as we get it.
Yep.
Public comments. You're on
I'm here
your
to
village
represent-
farm, right?
I'm in Pittsford Village Farm, but before that,
Okay.
my personal hat on, I live down on Elm Street, the last property on the left before you hit the covered bridge. And I witness probably every 2 months, there's emergency vehicles coming down, and there's tow trucks coming down, and we're pulling trucks out of there that go down there and get stuck and can't get out.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it's never gonna change, in my opinion, because people just go now on Google Maps, and these drivers are all new drivers. It's never gonna change. You're never gonna change the drivers. And I noticed that on that curve, just before you hit the covered bridge, to the southeast of that road, there's a big area that's, I believe, owned by the town. And wouldn't it make sense, it would be minor, I don't think it'd be a big deal, to just fill a little bit of area there, a little pull-off area, so then a truck can turn around and get out of there without being an emergency call.
Well, if you're gonna turn around tractor trailers, it's gonna take a lot of room, and I don't think you've got room enough to do that.
I think if you took some of the bank out and maybe added there, you might just squeak it in.
You're talking right about where the town trail goes down in there.
There's already a big pull-off on Hank
Yeah, well,
Pelkey's side of that.
Yes,
road.
yep.
Right.
So I'm saying on the opposite
opposite
side,
side.
about the same size, then it would allow even a tractor trailer to turn around.
Maybe, well, if you filled it in far enough, but
Worth looking at, man.
Well, I think it's worth looking at. I mean,
Yeah.
the big thing is if we fill it in like that,
Yeah.
and we don't do it good enough, and the truck gets stuck, then we got an even bigger mess. So
Let's have
but
Chad take a look at it.
let's have Chad. Yeah, I would say have Chad look at it and see. I mean, it's certainly a good idea.
Let us know by next meeting if that's even feasible to think about. Is
Yeah.
that fair?
one other thing,
Okay, thanks.
We have Chad do that?
one other thing comes to my mind, if that's wetlands, you might have to deal with
trouble
the
doing
state
it, yeah.
before you could do anything.
Yeah.
That's true, but I think the road's high enough, it practically, from mine, I don't think it's down into the
You start
wetlands.
filling in wetlands, which I'm not against.
No,
But,
Don't ask for permission,
But-
ask for forgiveness.
When it comes to wetlands, asking for forgiveness isn't a good idea. A lot of things you can, wetlands not so much.
But if,
But it's
They
worth
work.
looking, it's
Yeah.
definitely worth looking at.
They
Yeah,
got challenged.
Thank you.
yeah.
So one of the
idea.
things that we looked at with that, Chad and I were out there with actually Ethan Pepin from RPC again. So with the segment 2 design, which is going to happen hopefully in the next 5 years, where the intersection is of Elm Street where 7 connect, it's really wide there. It's very easy for vehicles just to go straight. And we were watching it one day. I mean, you don't even have to really turn to go on Elm Street. In that new design, there's actually more of like a bump out area where all that asphalt is, where there's no traveled lane, which would make it more difficult. A truck would actually have to try to turn to get down there. So we were actually looking at seeing if we could do something sort of, to test it out, like they've been doing with some of these pop-up projects, to see if we could do something like hay bales or barrels or something to try to deter the traffic from doing that. So, we have looked at it a few times, but we certainly can check the turnaround. I mean, it'd be nice to have them just not even go on the road.
Well, yeah, because it's not good for the
And
road.
The last one, I believe, the person that went down there said, well, I didn't think those signs pertained to me.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing problem, and I actually was talking with them in West Rutland today, same thing with Whipple Hollow on their end. the trucks just don't pay attention.
Well, look at Smuggler's Notch. I don't know if you've been
Oh, yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
There's gotta be 100 signs on either side that say no trucks, you can't get through,
Yeah.
and yet they still go.
They still
So,
do.
So-
What, 3-4 hours?
We're looking at other ways to do it, but I think the bump out, once that's done, it will deter, because then they'll have to really turn.
They're just following their Google Maps.
Yep, oh, I know.
If they gotta
The
turn, they'll
GPS.
turn, follow their directions.
Yep.
Well, they have different GPS meters there. Some of them are for cars and some of them are for commercial vehicles, and that messes them up.
well, and at one point, there was talk in the state that if you drove a truck here, you had to have a truck GPS, but that went away, and nobody had cojones enough to put that through, so. Okay, old business, you're on now. Pittsford Village Farm.
Terry, can you just try to speak up maybe so that one of those mics, even if you want to hold one, because Ann's going to have to try to do minutes for this because we don't have Kelly here tonight. Just grab one of those round ones if you want to talk into it. I know it's not
I don't know,
professional, but
Do you have Zoom up now? Is
It's
Isaac-
on,
Isaac
yeah.
is here?
oh,
Isaac
he might
Wagner?
be trying to get in.
He had family issues, so he may not be able to attend, but I thought.
nobody.
thought he would. Okay, no problem.
I'll sit here through this just in case he does. I'll just sit here in case it comes on. I'll let him in.
I just wanted to just update you the status of Pittsford Farm first, that we've had we're still having another great season of events, almost every week there, with Tuesdays, the free Tuesdays. I think I've seen several of you attend or have come to an end, but we still have, hopefully this Saturday, weather permitting, Touch a Truck. If not, it'll be next Saturday. We have Bread and Puppet Theater Monday night that the Paramount is sponsoring up on the knoll. So the volunteer group has been doing a great job, and I think a great community service. And meanwhile, I personally have been more involved with working with architects and engineers on continuing to develop the design for the project that we hope to start next spring, early summer. There's the latest architect's rendering of the exterior with the new porches and the new addition off the back to accommodate childcare and the community center on the bottom level. We have a design for a community center to seat approximately 45 people on the bottom level with kitchen and bathroom support facilities and a manager's office. On the main level that has got the main access from Elm Street is a 26 child care center designed with kitchen and support facilities, as well as in the front corner, the front southeast corner is a cafe that can seat approximately 16 people that we think will be another great community asset. And then on the top floor is 2 affordable housing apartments that are 2 bedrooms each that, again, I think is very much needed in the community. Any questions on what the project is? Okay. Where we are now on fundraising is we have received 6 different grants, as well as in-kind donations totaling about 1.4 million that unfortunately, most of the money's not in the bank yet, but it's committed. And we have Isaac Wagner, our development consultant, helping manage those grants. And we're looking to raise an additional roughly 1.4 million between additional grants of roughly 900,000, plus we're going to be starting a capital campaign for private donations soon for roughly $500,000 more. So we're really excited that we're more than halfway there on the funding, and we really thank the selectmen in the town for supporting us on the $60,000 planning grant that you You were the intermediary administering for us. Now we're going for the same agency, VCDP, for an implementation grant, they call it, for $450,000. And that's the resolution in front of you tonight, to hopefully agree to again be our intermediary, that we need to have signed in order to submit our application on the 16th of September. And I don't know if you have received copies, but I have a copy here that I can give to you that is all made out ready to sign.
I don't see it.
I do not.
Don't remember seeing it in the packet.
I don't have one.
No.
I have one right here to sign, so, but I'm not sure why there isn't one in the packet.
It was not.
So,
Essentially the exact same form you signed and agreed to on
on the last
the
one,
last planning grant.
and it's basically the same, even though it's more money, it's
Yeah,
the amount of work the town would have to do would be
The same.
pretty much the same.
pretty much the same.
We went over this last time.
Yeah.
And I think Ian answered most of our questions or concerns about the amount of time and effort
Yeah.
that seemed to be minimal.
Minimal,
If I hear
yes.
correct, it was 5 to 7 hours?
I was
What you
thinking
said?
8, but it's,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
whatever.
not a whole lot of hours. No. So, what's the board's pleasure?
Take a motion to approve it.
I get a second?
Second.
Any more discussion?
The only thing I have some thoughts is, we've donated the lumber for that shed that they built down there. And I'm glad they've done that, and
Pavilion there.
and I will donate more.
We thank you so
Son
much.
and I. But I don't want this to become a taxpayer's expense, running that show down there. That's the way I feel about it. I mean, and I will donate more as I feel, and anybody that wants to, more power to them. It's a good thing, I have nothing negative about it. But I don't want this, my feeling is not to have it become a liability for the taxpayers of this town.
Well, I can tell you that the pro forma that our development consultant Isaac Wagner has prepared, that pro forma shows us being able to be in the black with the income that we will ultimately get from the 2 apartments and the child care center. So that it would not be something that would require the town to fund.
And this childcare thing, it's a great idea, but it's setting up competition for any private people that might want to provide childcare too. I don't know if you've ever given that any thought.
From the studies we've heard and seen, there's just a huge need.
I realize that, right.
Competition is hardly an issue because there's just a huge need for childcare.
I'm aware of that, but there again, if there were some people that wanted to start a childcare daycare center here as a business to make a living and make money, this is going to be competition for them, which it may be no problem with it, but I think we need to keep our eye on that, keep it in respect to the people that might be willing to do something.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, Joe, I think the state regulations have squeezed out all the people that would
That
like
were
that.
doing
So only something this size, funded by some of the other things, is gonna be able to afford to do it now, which is unfortunate, but
and
that's
that-
the case.
That's kind of too bad,
Yeah, that's the state, so.
kind of too
Yep.
bad.
We did cover that, tax issue a few
Yes.
meetings ago when it was brought up to us,
Mhm.
so that we stand our ground with that.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think I heard everybody say aye, so I assume there's nobody opposed.
All right, it's coming down your way.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Terry,
luck.
can you just put your name on the clipboard there too, just so we know you were here? Thank you.
Okay, police vehicle, potential purchase. Officer Warfle and Goulet.
Alright, so Mike wanted me to be the mouthpiece for this, so I'll do the best I can here. So the vehicle we're looking at to replace is the pickup truck.
Which will be 5 years old. It's 19, but we got it in November of 18.
So the issue with the truck is we're up to 82,000 with it. The problem we had last year was procuring another vehicle took us 9 months because of the shortages, because of COVID and all the backlogs and the back orders and stuff like that. Mike and I were talking about it and thinking, you know, what's going to be the layout as far as waiting for a vehicle when we actually need it. So he had me contact a couple different dealers that I know where they do a lot of sales and stuff. And one of them at Niagara Falls, New York, has the same exact vehicle we have, the 22 Durango that we replaced recently. It's a carbon copy of it. And with the truck, as far as the condition of it, 82,000 miles, the swing arms are starting to get bad on it. And also the exhaust is going to need some work. It's getting older. That's our primary used vehicle, so it gets a lot of time on the road. And we've been pounding traffic with it pretty hard. I don't know how many tires we put on it, just, you know, trying to keep up with the speeders in town and stuff like that. And it's been getting the brunt of the use.
Patrol time.
And use and stuff. So we figured, all right, well, we have one here that they're holding for us, and figured why not just see what you guys would feel if we tried to replace the truck now.
And there is some trade-in value to the old truck.
And
Now?
Tom could probably agree with me there with the fire service. If you have a newer vehicle that's not worn out completely, and we can sell it as a police vehicle or trade it in as a police vehicle, it's going to be more valuable to us as a trade-in. We'll get more money for it. So I contacted the dealership, and I just had them crunch some numbers. You know, numbers are free.
Are we muted on this?
No, it shouldn't be.
At first,
Can't see what's on
It says you were muted.
Probably the people trying to pick them out.
Oh, I don't know.
There's somebody on there trying to get in?
I'll just have to sit here and watch this.
at first when I called, they were like, it's going to be $47,190 for the unit. And I started talking to the lady, just wheeling and dealing a little bit, and we started discussing some final numbers with the trade-in. So what she did was, instead of the $47,190, she brought it down to $42,200. They had me take a bunch of pictures of the vehicle we have now, the truck, and they figured if we give it to them as a whole unit, they'd be willing to give us $16,500 for a trade-in, which would then bring the vehicle down to $25,700 for the vehicle. Of course, now there's going to be upfitting required with that for the console unit, the radar unit, the cruiser cam, the prisoner partition, MDC stand for our mobile computer, light, siren, and the switch unit to operate all that, graphics, and the installation of all the equipment. And I've got a rough estimate, and if you want like quotes and solid numbers, I'll get you that. But it's about $25,000 more. So the total cost of the vehicle, rough cost, is going to be $50,700. What we're going to do to save some money is keep the police radio and the fire department radio. The police radio we have is one of those Kenwood 110 amp units, which is a lot of money, over $2,500. So we're keeping that. The fire department radio, we're keeping that. That was donated by the fire department. And also, we're gonna keep the radar unit, because those radar units are what, $5,000-6,000 a pop. So we're gonna keep that one, get it refurbished, and then put that in our spare cruiser that Mike drives, usually the older Durango. We decided to keep the older Durango because it's a better platform for us. The truck, it's like the Titanic. The turning radius on this thing takes, you know, it's a hard turn. The Durangos, they're very nimble. They turn right around on Route 7, so we can spin around and get what we need to do for speeders and whatnot. It handles a lot better than the truck does.
And it's all-wheel drive instead of rear-wheel drive.
Yep.
So it saves on tires.
And stuff like that.
And the old Durango obviously has got 8,000 miles on that new motor.
It's got a brand new power plant, and
So-
the body's in good shape.
And the body's in good shape.
So we just decided.
And it's more comfortable to drive for me.
So we figured replacing the truck would be the best way to go, and we figured keep everything uniform with the same vehicles. And this company just happened to have the exact same Durango that we have here. So we figured we'd ask you guys if we'd be able to pursue this, and we can get the vehicle, and then I can get you a more precise quote for all the lights and the sirens and the switches and the partitions through Habis and the consoles through Habis and all that stuff. But it's not gonna go over $25,000 for everything, including labor costs.
The labor, the install of everything is $3,000.
And that's really good because Central Vermont, the last time on this other Durango, they wanted to charge us like 8,000 plus. And I was looking also at upfitters where you just one-stop shop, you just gotta throw the graphics on it. They charge just as much as Central Vermont for their installations and stuff, but they just kind of roll it into the price, so you don't get the sticker shock that most, you know, places would get if you just went to Central Vermont. Jared over at Thunder Towing and his employee, great guys, and the install that they did on the last Durango was really good. They did really good work, and I'm not concerned at all with them doing all the vehicles that we have to do. And the graphics guy was a lot better price.
They remember the graphics debate, so he's the same price as he was before with the same graphics.
And that way, since we have it available, if we don't have it available, we'll probably have to wait, you know, extra months, maybe 9 months, depending on how things are with Detroit and all that stuff. Of course, they're looking at a possible union strike here coming up too, so that's gonna kind of throw a curveball in everybody's gears if they do go on strike and all the plants shut down.
What are people's thoughts?
As it stands right now, is there any money available in your budget or planning, or this is totally on?
Joe, from years past, I know that every year there's supposed to be money put away for car replacement.
Right.
And every time we went back, there was always zero. I don't know what's in there right now. I'd have to ask either Dave or Ann to give me a number.
Because it had quite an investment in putting a new motor in that car too. That must have cut into
Probably came out of that.
cut into what you.
That came out of
That came out of that, I think.
yeah.
I was just wondering whether you had any ballpark figure.
You know, I don't know what's,
Financed them ourselves, the last one, right? Didn't we finance the last one ourselves? I believe we did.
Yeah,
You
'cause
pay
I
us
was
back
told
on each.
this is what we
I
have.
forgot what your budget is every year on replacement. Is it 15, 20,000?
yeah, yeah.
15 or 20.
Dave's going to pull it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think what we've been doing, we pay it off, but then we pay ourselves
Gets
back.
Paid
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's why you're showing a zero.
right.
Okay, that's
The
fine.
biggest problem is we
Yeah.
never, you
get-
guys
well-
never start to build anything up.
We don't put enough money into it.
Enough
because
money into it to
that's
build
our-
anything
I mean,
up.
the fire department's got a good plan the way
Yeah.
you guys have
Yeah.
it set up.
Well, you're not getting enough money that's the
Right.
problem.
Right,
So the police department has 2 vehicles right now?
Three.
right.
2 Durangos and a pickup. The
They're
17.
looking to trade in the
the
pickup.
pickup.
I got that. So what are the other years of the other 2?
So,
The 17, and that's the one with the new motor in it,
That's
Yeah.
brand new.
okay? And the body's in good shape, and it's comfortable to drive, and the other one's a 22,
Yeah, that's
the other
last
Durango.
one.
So how often are all three on duty?
Between Chittenden.
The truck
route,
detail and patrol
Patrol.
twice a week.
All three are being
Mhm.
used?
So, the town has been putting 15,000 a year for replacement fund. I'd have to find out what's in that fund, but
Probably nothing, Dave, because I think we've been
Well,
paying off the cruiser, right, Dave? We paid off that.
I
last
believe
year.
that's what we have done, yes.
we
so.
have.
I'd
Yes,
have
so
to
we,
look.
and we've never
Zero.
put
Doesn't
enough
catch
in,
up.
so we started getting
Exactly.
ahead.
Yeah.
I'd have to look and see what we have in that account.
And I think part of that's, I mean, the fire department's been here forever.
Oh, yeah.
Police department, I mean, you guys have been here a long time, but not
Not-
that
No,
long.
not
And we
for-
haven't, we
no, I
haven't been
understand.
putting,
Enough in,
well, we haven't been putting much in. I don't think, when I got on the board, I'm not sure if we were putting anything in anyway. I think that was something we
5 or 10,
started
yeah, just
in the
recently.
last few years
Yeah.
to start building up an equipment fund
it
for you.
seems to me we budgeted something for that in
Yeah.
our process this year.
No, we do.
We do,
We do now,
we do.
but the problem, what's happening is like the last Durango we
I
bought,
gotcha.
if there was anything in there that got eaten up, and then the 15,000 that would go in this year goes to pay that off.
Well,
So their balance is,
so you wouldn't disagree that what we need to do is pull where we are in that process? If that's what we're doing is paying on the 22 Durango or paying on the engine we just did, we have to be able to go back in our records and see what we're pulling right now, or is there something we've already got there for it, right? Because we don't really know.
we don't know,
Even
right?
still, say we were to buy a new one, we finance it, the town rather than financing it through the
Yeah,
company like we were doing.
Yeah, I get
We're doing it
that. I'd just
our
like
own
to know where we
way.
are in the other ones.
I think we're probably behind the eight ball.
So,
I'll be honest with you.
Would you be okay if we looked through the budget and found a way to fund a new cruiser? Because I think we can.
Yeah, because the total amount would be $50,000, and I think we'd be all set with the cages, the full install, upgrade, and we'd be all set.
So I guess a question I have, is there a radar unit in the old Durango now?
No, what happened was when we got the third vehicle as a spare, in case something happened to the other two, we'd still be able to do our contracts. We've got the old
There's a handheld radar in there.
handheld one, but if we can keep the one out of the truck and buy a new one, then all units will have a dedicated radar unit. I'll tell you, running radar, that handheld one is a pain in the neck. When you have-
But I'm
But
just,
it gets us through.
well, that's.
It achieves-
and- Okay, so how much money is the radar unit out of this 25,000?
It'd be about 5,000-6,000.
5,000, I'd say 5,000.
5,000 for the radar.
Lights are roughly 10 grand. Lights in, the prices of Wayland's is just going crazy. And, the in-car camera's about 6 grand.
You need that.
Yeah, well, that saves our bacon sometimes, you know?
Yeah, and the towns.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's,
Exactly.
yes.
I think we need to have Dave pull these numbers and see where we are before. we do anything.
What kind of a timeline are you on with these people?
I could tell Kayla, the dealer I'm going through, see if she can just do me a favor and just hold on to it for a little bit so you guys can run the numbers. I
Supposed to be able to
Got
shut
pretty
that
good
off, I
report.
can't.
So, I'll give her, I mean, it is what it is. I'll tell her this is what we got going on. We're crunching some numbers, trying to figure it out. And we'll see where it goes. I mean, check out what you gotta check out and just let me know and I'll contact her and pass along what,
And you're saying right now it's a 9-month lead to get?
the last.
The last one was 9 months. We-
No, but I just don't wanna rush into something. We've gone through this with other equipment.
Yeah, we
to
have. No, I
make
agree.
Sure that, so it's about 9 months right now if you ordered what you wanted?
So right now, with what we have is, we found something that's exactly what we want. Color, the package, equipment package, everything, which is gonna match what we have. So, the last time we ordered the Durango, that 22, it was 9 months out.
That's
And we
pretty
went-
common.
Yeah, right now with the way vehicles are, I mean, it's all, you have to order it and then you gotta wait. And we just happened to find this thing. I just called around, and next thing you know, she's like, what are you looking for? Like, this is what we're looking for, this package and everything. And she's like, we got one exactly like what you guys have. So just kind of. So we kind of lucked out with that. If we want to keep everything uniform, and it's a great package. I mean, it's a hardy vehicle, and it'll keep the fleet looking the same. Mechanics, I think they like to keep everything the same as well, as far as, you know, having to maintain them and everything else too.
I think I asked this question as a citizen, but why did we buy a truck to start with? What was the reason? I think I remember asking this once, but.
Well, a lot of departments went to pick up trucks because they thought they were more useful, like in the, when we did marijuana crops and stuff, we had somewhere to put them instead of putting them underneath, you know, in a Durango SUV. They're okay, but they're not as useful as like an SUV would be.
Well, wasn't there an issue? Isn't that the one where you had the SUV ordered and they told you couldn't get one?
Yeah.
At that point in time, so that was why we went to the pickup?
That was with the second SUV, because we were trying to get anything to replace it.
Another thing too we were looking at was seeing if we could pick up our like DMV stuff with,
Right,
you know, the
signs
big
and all
trucks.
that
We were
stuff.
talking about maybe putting scales in it and whatnot, but with Omnia there, we just, in a reasonable distance and amount of time, I can bring any truck within anywhere that I'm in town to a nice scale and just have them roll right on and not have to deal with these 50-pound, 60-pound scales, all 6 of them. So we, you know, it was a great idea at the moment. I'm not, you know, knocking the truck too much, because if we had issues with assisting the fire department with something or whatever, having to get something, it has great off-road capabilities, but at the amount that we used it's just better off just to stick with a SUV, you know, and just run with that. Because the turning radius isn't, like I said,
I heard you mention that. Yeah.
trying to turn around on Route 7, it's,
I personally don't like the truck. I mean, I drive it when I have to, but I prefer the SUV. It's more comfortable. And I drive a pickup every day of my life. But
Consensus is we wait till next meeting, get the numbers and make a decision next meeting?
I gotta look at the numbers first, yeah.
and you know, that'll give me time to look at the other part.
And then you'll be able to give us firm numbers on.
Exactly. I'll be able to contact Havis, get all the numbers for everything we've got, and then also the lights and the install.
Yeah, the lights on that thing, there's nothing we can use off the pickup to swap.
no, the outside lights are kind of all getting
A lot of it
rusty.
came off of the old Ford Explorer.
Yeah, a lot of them came off, so they're kind
So
of like
they're
hand-me-downs.
dated. And the dealership would really like that truck whole,
As is.
just to sell it to another police department as is, put a different name on it, and send it out.
So we'll have Dave
Yep.
get that information.
Get those numbers
We can look
and-
at
yep.
it.
So see if she can hold on to it for 2 weeks. And
We gotta look at the numbers first.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
I completely understand where you're coming from.
Yep.
Yep. Well, so we'll have those numbers and firm numbers on what this other's gonna cost us.
Yep,
what
and I'll do
else.
my homework on the other end as far as upfitting and equipment.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you for all you do. Okay, Assessor's Office, errors and omissions needing approval.
This is just a quick one that's basically a name change, but because it's after grand list, it needs to be changed. So Lisa asked if the board would consider approving it. There was a life estate issue. Well, there's a little paragraph on the bottom. I guess I don't need to read it. It's pretty straightforward.
That's on, yeah.
What's your pleasure?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'll make a motion. We go ahead.
Second.
Any discussion, anybody? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? right. Orders and payroll. Anybody have any questions?
I see there was Killington Grand Hotel, it's number 9,800, $213.48. Apparently, well, it says here, rec conference lodging. Must be somebody had to stay up there or something, or?
So it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, there's a rec conference up there, so
So
sending our.
is there an evening program, or why would you be staying there? No, I had the same question.
I'd have to look on that. It could be for
But
dinner
it's
and
that far
stuff
away.
too, so.
Well, it says lodging, that's why. I saw that too.
Yeah, I kinda questioned that myself.
If there's not an evening session, to be attended,
Well, still not that far away. I mean, 20 minutes?
yeah, no, that's, can you please look into that then?
Yeah.
I don't wanna approve that without knowing.
Knowing what it's about.
I understand if they've got an evening session, you have to stay late.
Could be.
What was the rate, where the hell did it go?
This says the check was cut 8:30.
Yeah, something already cut. What was the polygraph? Was that for Mr. Bowman going to the academy?
Yep.
That's what I figured. And what was the spring house repair?
That was the one that was approved for Reed Construction to do the concrete,
Okay.
We approved that last meeting.
Prove that, or Reed, they've gotta dig around and pour concrete around.
it's all done.
It's all done.
It's all finished?
Wow,
That was quick.
yeah.
So I guess we need to know that one. That's the
Sure.
only one. That's the one I got.
So one thing I'll look into that. I don't know if that's just for the conference itself and like dinner, which most people do, like when we do town fair or something. I mean, one thing is you guys, you're a little fortunate here that because I'm on the passive board, all that stuff for me is free. So some of these other folks that want to do these things, it should free it up for folks to be able to attend some of these conferences, but I will find out if it's an overnight or if it's just a day thing.
No problem
Well,
with attending
yeah.
conferences, but just, at least.
Well, and I guess I'm kinda guessing up there, $200 a night seems pretty cheap. I'm guessing it's more than $200 a night to stay up there.
Probably.
I mean, if you're out and about, $200 a night, some
Not a
days,
group rate, I would
doesn't-
expect that.
Let me see.
on a group
what it
rate,
covers
okay,
first.
well,
Absolutely.
It could
okay,
be dinner and the
alright.
conference. I mean, that's, when you got, I'll look. I don't know. I don't have the answer.
Yeah, that's fine.
It may be very sensible the way it is, but it just kind of
Pass it down.
caught my eye anyway. That's why I
I mean,
asked.
one alone, Joe.
Mark,
No.
pass that down to Dave.
I'll do that.
Oh, I didn't know if you saw it.
There you
Now, the
go.
fire hose ladder testing was $4,600. Is that something that has to be done every year? or-
Every year.
And that's just an annual maintenance expense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was in the budget, actually, so
I kinda
Bill did have it in his budget, but yeah, it's annual now.
Yep, annual.
I
From what
suspected
Bill-
that, but I
from what
wasn't.
Chief told me, the guys used to do it in-house, and it got to be where it just wasn't making sense, and that it's better to have someone come in and annually do
Something
it.
happens
So.
and you're,
Well, you're covered.
You're covered.
It falls on them instead of you.
when they say,
Seems like
did you
quite a
have
bit
it
of
done?
money for an inspection, but
Well,
there's probably quite a bit to it.
Anything else? All right, I guess pass them on down.
Did you want to make a motion
For what?
for the warrant?
We don't, we just sign them. We don't
We
make
just,
a motion.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pass down everything then. Did you want to make the motion to go into executive session?
Yep, well, I figured while we were doing this, yep. So does someone wanna make the motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion to go in, but you can't do that till we're done signing. That has to be done in open meeting. As soon as we're done signing, yeah, I'll make the
In a
motion.
minute.
If you need a second, I'll second it.
I'm sorry, did you guys, are you approving both warrants?
Yes,
Yes.
that's, yeah, it needs that, yeah, just signature, whatever, it's handed.
No lines?
That's all right or not, but I put my name on it anyway.
Can you stay within the lines?
Don't want any lines there.
Don't know.
No line on
Maybe
that.
they didn't need to sign it.
Sign anywhere.
Oh, maybe we didn't need to sign it, but, yeah, I don't think we did, actually. I think the motion covered that.
Oh, yeah.
But it has a sign here on it, so,
Someone wants to look at it, well, better have a second.
yeah, well, yeah. For sure.
That's it, Joe. No more signing.
Put your pen away.
You can relax now.
Run out. Mission accomplished.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second to go into executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. No opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.